Okie dokie. Hello. This is my video reflection. I have my paper notes right here. So for this week's lesson, um for the ACEs training, which stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences, um that stands for the trauma that adolescents have endured. Um it's like a scale. Um It's it's to measure potential trauma for an adolescent of infant to 18 years old. And this scale can mark um have lasting effects on the individual up until their entire life, causing if there's trauma such as sexual, physical, emotional, uh, neglect, emotional neglect, and physical neglect, um, that can, without the presence of any positive role models or positive experiences to realign them, those negative um, experiences can lead to all the way down to illnesses and death, like premature death, and just kind of repeating the cycles throughout the individuals, like with their children. um yeah, so there's that. And then for the reading assignment, chapter 5, engagement and assessment. um it has to do, like, summary wise, engagement of the client. That's building trust and rapport. It allows the client to open up more and feel respected and heard. Um, Assessment is a collaborative situation. Um, it's done with the client, like client involvement, client centered, not for them. So they can understand their own problems and strengths and be able to kind of see a way through for themselves. Person in environment perspective looks at the client situation and context, like the family, community, culture, and systems. Um, there's tools that help guide the process, like the eco maps, which support systems and stressors. There's genograms maps, um, that maps out the family structure and patterns. And then there's also strength-based approach, the strength-based approach. Um, don't just focus on what's wrong, highlight skills and resources and resilience. That is good for any individual to highlight what they have and their capabilities. um, there's cultural competence is key, like being able to understand, everyone comes from different backgrounds and cultures, and some are more deeply abide by the culture, and some are kind of more loose, but it's wise for the social worker to be educated in that area, in the different cultural identities. um and goal setting outcomes after the assessment, like treatment plans, setting goals, like kind of obvious goals, but maybe some other internal goals that the client might have, realistic goal dates being set, realistic goals being set, and at first, and then once the client is able to complete those goals, then it seems more possible to set additional goals, short-term goals and long-term goals, which are my favorites. And then the ongoing process of engagement and assessment, like it's a process. um, so it all just doesn't have to be done in one day. And also the video had to do with the limbic area of the brain. um, uh, um, So what I have here is it describes the brain needing to he described like a story of how the brain is comfortable in where it's comfortable at, but it's also needing to go and grow up and go out into the world and experience all these things where it might seem like danger, but it's just how the adolescent grows up. He states neuron firing means neuron rewiring, and then also at the end he states that sometimes the adults get upset with adolescents because there's an essence that an adolescence possesses, and like for the adult to be able to communicate with their children best, that they can rebuild that adolescence. I'm sorry I went longer than 5 minutes.